Gregory, on my word, we'll not carry coals.
No, for then we should be colliers.
I mean, and we being caller, we'll draw.
Aye, while you live, draw your neck out of the collar.
I strike quickly being moved.
But thou art not quickly moved to strike.
A dog of the house of Montague moves me.
To move is to stir, and to be valiant is to stand. Therefore, if thou art moved, thou runst away.
A dog of that house shall move me to stand. I will take of any man or maid of Montague's.
That shows thee a weak slave, for the weakest goes to the wall.
'Tis true, and therefore women being in weaker vessels are ever thrust to the wall. Therefore I will push Montague's men from the wall, and thrust his maids to the wall.
The quarrel was between our masters and us, their men.
'Tis all one. I will show myself a tyrant. When I have fought with the men, I will be civil with the maids. I will cut off their heads.
The heads of the maids?
Aye, the heads of the maids, or their maiden heads, taken in what sense thou wilt.
They must take it in the sense that feel it.
Me they shall feel while I am able to stand, and it is known I am a pretty piece of flesh.
'Tis well thou art not fish. If thou hast been poor John. Draw thy tool! Here comes two of the house of the Montagues.
My naked weapon is out. Quarrel, I will back thee.
How? Turn thy back and run?
Fear me not.
No, Mary, I fear thee.
Let us take the law of our sides, let them begin.
Our friends that pass by them, and let them take it as they list.
Nay, as they dare, I will bite my thumb at them, which is a disgrace to them if they bear it.
Do you bite your thumb at us, sir?
I do bite my thumb, sir.
Do you bite your thumb at us, sir?
Is the law on our side if I say A?
No.
No, sir, I do not bite my thumb at you, sir, but I bite my thumb, sir.
Here comes Romeo. Here comes Romeo.
Without his roe, like a dried herring, oh flesh, flesh, how art thou fishified? Now is he for numbers that Petrarch flowed in to Laura? To his lady was but a kitchen wench, ditto a dowdy, Cleopatra, gypsy, Helen and Hera, Hildings and harlots. This be a grey ire song, but not to the purpose. Senor Romeo, bonjour! Here's a French salutation to your French Slav. You gave us the counterfeit early last night.
Good morrow to you both. What counterfeit did I give you?
The slip, sir, the slip. Can you not conceive?
Pardon, good Mercutio. My business was great, and in a case such as mine, a man may strain courtesy.
That's as much as to say, such a case as yours constrains a man to bow in the hams.
Meaning to curtsy?
Thou hast most kindly hit it.
A most courteous expression.
Nay, I am the very pig of courtesy.
Pink for flower?
Right.
Why, then is my pump well flowered.
Well said. Follow me this just now till thou hast worn out my pump. That, when the single soul of it is worn, the jest may remain after the weary, jostly singular.
Oh, single soul jest, solely singular for the singleness.
Come between us, good Benvolio, my wits faint.
Switch and spurs, or I'll cry a match.
Nay, if our wits run the wild goose chase, I am done. For these hast more of the wild goose in one of thy wits than I am sure I have in my whole five. Was I with you there for the goose?
Thou wast never with me for anything, when there was not there for the goose.
I will bite thee by thy ear for that jest.
Nay, good goose, bite not.
Thy wit is a very bittersweet name. It is a most sharp sauce.
And is it not, then, well served into a sweet goose?
Oh, here's a wit disheveled that stretches from an inch narrow to an ell broad.
I stretch it out for that word, broad, which, added to the goose, proves thee far and wide a broad goose.
Why, is not this better now than groaning for love? Now art thou sociable, now art thou Romeo, now art thou what thou art, by art as well as by nature. For this driveling love is like a great natural that runs lolling up and down to hide his bubble in a hole. Stop there, stop there. Thou desirest me to stop in my tail against the hair.
Thou wouldst else have made thy tail large.
Oh, thou art deceived! I would have made it short, for I was come to the whole depth of my take, and meant indeed to occupy the argument no longer.
Here's goodly gear.
Here we have Mr. Harrington at his summer estate. In the movie, Mr. Harrington played Samson. So, how are you, Mr. Harrington?
I'm good.
Alright, let's get right to it. Who is your favorite person to work with on the set?
I would have to say it was Brian. Mostly because he was the only one I worked with. So I think by I guess he kind of has to be. Although I did like working with myself.
On to your next question, Sean. What was your favorite scene in the play?
My favorite scene was all the ones where Brian did very little. Because he was a nuisance and he shouldn't have been in the play. He was crap.
Yet, yet he was your
That's
favorite
enough of
person.
that, Brian.
Yet he was your favorite person to work with on set.
Well, he was the only one I worked with. So,
Good point.
yeah.
Brian not here.
Shut up.
No one here but the maid.
Shut up, Brian.
Brian not here. No, he's not here.
Alright, Sean, for our final question. Well, it's not really a question. We're just going to take a look at your fine, humble abode.
Okay. You want to take a look in here? Oh my god!
We have a special treat for you guys today. With us is the cast from Romeo and Juliet. First, we have Brian Sposato, who played Gregory in Act 1, Scene 1. It's a pleasure having you, Brian.
It's always a pleasure when I'm around, Ben.
So, let's get started right away. Who is your favorite person to work with on the cast?
Definitely wasn't Sean Harrington. Kid's a terrible actor. Can't keep a straight face during anything. Unprofessional. I suggest never working with him.
That's great. Nice to hear your input. Alright, Brian, let's move right on to the next question. What was your favorite scene from the play?
My favorite scene probably was the first interaction of lines between me and Sean. I couldn't keep a straight face at all during it, so I developed a technique to keep a straight face. You gotta relax your facial muscles by going. It just works all the time. Like charm.
I'll have to try that out sometime. Okay, Brian, on to the final question. Who would you say your idol is?
This is a tough one, Ben, but I probably have to say my dog Spanky here. He's always gonna be there for me, and he always has been. He my brother.
Aww.
Yeah.
With us next is Mr. Joe Millard, who played Romeo in the play. So, Joe, on to your first question. Who is your favorite person to work with on the set?
Off the top of my head, I'd have to say definitely not Sean. We literally had to take the first scene about 16 times, and then the next 5 probably took upwards of 10. So you can see how that caused quite a dilemma, and he was just a pain to work with. Other than that, I had no favorites. Oh, unless you count myself.
Alright, Joe. Before the next question, I think we're all dying to wonder. Where's your shirt?
Well, that is a fair question, Ben. You see, as we were doing our last scene, a crazed fan, so I'm not going to get into the details of how she looked, but she came over, she just tore it off my body. And now she has my shirt, but I have her pants.
So, Joe, I've been told that you were given some strange nicknames over the course of the filming. Want to let us in on some of those?
Yes, well, the main one I earned was Faggotron.
How'd you earn that?
Really?
Finally, we have Chase Wong, who in the play acted as Mercutio. So, Chase, to start things off, who is your favorite person to work with?
Not Sean!
On to the next question. Other than acting, what are some of your hobbies?
Parkour.
Lastly, Chase, what's with the fan?
Right here we have the backbone of this video, Ben, who played Abraham and Benvolio. And he was also the director of this production. So, Ben, I have to ask, who did you find to be the most valuable asset as you directed us through what came out to be this beautiful masterpiece of a play?
Well, Joe, that's a hard question to answer. Everyone was pretty equal, so I don't think I could pick a favorite. However, I can definitely pick a least favorite. Sean.
So, Ben, what would you say is your favorite part about directing a film such as this?
Joe, with a cast as wonderful as this one was, it's hard to pick one thing that I loved the most about directing it. However, I can tell you this. That one kid, what was his name? Sean. He made directing this play miserable.
And Ben, our final question, is one that I was wondering. If you were to direct another film, what genre would you think you would do?
Joe, I'd have to say tomatoes.